thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be demonstrating some neck stretches from Erin Mattis's active isolated stretching technique. So first off, for this, you're going to be in a chair. It can be any chair because we're not going to lean back on it, so it doesn't really matter. So you want to sit forward in your chair so that you can comfortably feel your feet grounded to the floor. You want to find your sits bones pressing into the chair, and you want to get a nice natural lift through the top of your head. Now, if you have read my article on active isolated stretching, which is at www.custompilatesandyoga.com, or maybe you're already familiar with active isolated stretching, then you know what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going into a series of stretches. We're going to be using our hands to very gently, very lightly assist ourselves into a stretch, which we will hold for a maximum of 2 seconds. And it's recommended that you do anywhere from 8 to 12 repetitions of each stretch. So with that in mind, we're going to begin. We're going to start off with some neck circles or head rolls. So unlike the traditional ones where the head comes forward and you just kind of go back and forth, with this we're going to be using our hands to end up putting, as we roll this way, a little bit of pressure. And then we come over here and do a little bit of pressure. And you notice as I'm going back and forth, I come over this way, this arm is straight, so that I can get the most benefit of that stretch. Okay, so don't give yourself T-Rex arms here and be like back and forth. Make sure let the arm relax down and do your stretch. And then circle and stretch. And that's how you're really gonna get into the muscles that you're after. Okay, so here we go. Beginning with the neck circles, ground down through the sits bones, lift nice and tall. The head comes straight forward. Let it rotate to one side, and center, and the other, and center, and hold, and center, hold. And I'm just putting a little bit of pressure with my fingertips just to give it a little extra stretch beyond what I can get on my own. And last time. And to center and come on up. Okay, now we're going to bring our head forward. So again, because we're using our hands, the head goes forward and we're going to use both hands. When you feel your head, you should feel how at the back of your skull, the top back of your skull, there's that rounded out section. So we want our fingertips to go just beneath that. So you nod first, and then give a little pressure, and then come up. And so my hands, even though they're back there, they're not applying any pressure. It's pressure here, and then release, and I come back up. Okay, so here we go. Moving the head forward, reach nice and long, let the long neck move forward, pressure, and release. And breathe wherever is comfortable for you, but you know, you don't want to pass out. Last one. Good. Okay, now we're going to go the opposite direction. We're going to go to the back. This is one where if you have a friend, someone you trust, I really recommend somebody else do this for you just because it feels so nice. When your head moves toward the back. Don't just think of moving it back. You want to have your cervical spine here, your neck get long, and then the skull tips back on the very top. When you do it that way, you can get a really nice traction where if you have neck pain, it really opens some things up for you. But if you're not paying attention, if you're just kind of quickly going through this and you just throw your head back, it's possible you will miss getting the length in the spine and it could feel a little uncomfortable, okay? So for that reason, when I do this, I take my right hand, because I'm right hand dominant, and I kind of slide up the back of my neck and I let this outside edge of my hand kind of scoop my skull up and back, okay? So here we go. Get that length. Good, we'll do 2 more. Okay, now this next one's a little odd because we don't do this in normal life, but you're going to turn your head to the side and then you're going to lift up. And I'm going to apply just a little bit of pressure. The direction that your head turns, that same hand comes up and just a little bit right at the very top of the forehead, like where your hair meets, press, and then you'll release, and then we come all the way back to center. Okay, so don't hang out on the side and keep moving. Make sure you come all the way back to center. Your other arm that's not working, let that fall right by your side. Resist the temptation to bend it and stick it on your leg. Here we go, turning to the side, up, and then pressure, release, and back to center, turn, and stretch. And you should feel this all along the front of your neck. I should say too, it's best to not talk when you're doing the exercise with your head to the back or this one where you turn, because having your lips firmly touching is going to help increase the amount of stretch in the front of your neck. Last one. Now switching sides. Last one. Okay, very good. Now we're going to bring the ear to the shoulder. And then the hand will come up and lightly press and release. And release. Make sure you're going straight to the side. Don't let the head go forward. We will work on that in a minute. Switching sides. Straight to the side and a little bit of pressure. All right, now we're going to look to the side. This is a little bit trickier to assist. The direction that I'm looking, that same hand comes to the outside of my forehead. The opposite hand comes to the outside back part of my skull. Okay, so I put just a little bit of a turn in there and then back to center. Nothing huge, not a whole lot of pressure. One more. Switching directions. Especially on this first one, that ends up being an easier said than done situation. Make sure you're still lifted nice and tall in your chair. Last one. Okay, so for this next one, it's a little bit unusual. You're going to turn your head to a slight angle because you want to lower your chin down toward your pec, okay? So down toward the chest. And with our opposite hand, it's the direction we're turning, we're going to find that little rounded part to the skull and we're going to kind of push up just a little bit and then release and back to center. And if you're wondering, why do we always release and back to center? It's because we want to create a good neutral pattern for these muscles. Last one. now we're going to switch directions. So we turn on an angle, the chin's gonna come toward the pec, and then we're gonna push. Make sure as you reach that you reach with a long neck. You don't want to crunch anything. You shouldn't feel any crunching with this. One more. Okay. Now for our next stretch, you're going to turn, but this time we're wanting the ear to come toward the sternum. So I have an odd hand placement for this. The opposite hand is the direction I'm turning, kind of comes on the outside of my face. The same hand as the direction I'm turning is going to come up here. So the heel of my hand comes right below my temple. Right here's my temple, here's where my cheekbone starts, and I try to get just right above where my cheekbone is so that as I go to move, I apply an upward pressure with my same hand as direction I'm turning, and I apply a downward pressure with the opposite hand. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna look as far as we can to the side, get our hands placed, ear toward the sternum, back up to center. Good. And take your time with this. Remember, 2 seconds on that stretch, and do let your hands help return you back upright. It's not uncommon as you do these stretches to find little pops, but it's very important that you not push so hard that they become big pops. Little pops will happen naturally. If you're really trying to pop yourself, no, I don't recommend that. That's when you could cause yourself a serious spinal injury. So we're working on releasing the muscles. When you're out of alignment, it's because tight muscles pull on the bones, they pull them out of place. And so when we release the tight muscles, the bones should naturally release back to where they're supposed to be. Okay? Other side, take your time. Especially in terms of switching the hands. We'll turn to the side, same hand as direction you're turning comes up, right above the cheekbone, opposite hand kind of on the jaw, and we go ear toward the sternum, up and back to center. Turn and stretch. One more. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope your neck feels a lot better. This is a great exercise series for you to do at work, or if you're stuck in traffic, you can start doing this. This is a quick and easy way to relieve neck pain. And if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, don't forget you can find me at my website, www.custompilatesandyoga.com. Thank you.